in the name of Jesus.
Amen.
Someone asked a question. One person here asked the question: does God tell you the time to release that person to their purpose?
Sometimes he does. Sometimes he does. It's that there must be the seeking, the leader, the father or mother must ask God, what's your heart? What is your will concerning this individual? And there are times when he will give you a time limit. But this sometimes you may communicate to the son or daughter, and at times you may not communicate. What is important is a good father does not frustrate the child by making them feel that this is indefinite and to no end. What we do is that we make the vision plain. We speak greatness in them. We declare into their lives potentially what we see. We see it as it's a seed now, but we see it as a forest.
Yes.
It's a caterpillar now, but we see it soaring as a butterfly. So we want to begin to let them know that we see what God's doing in them.
Yeah.
And as we see it maturing, that we give them hope.
Yes.
We give them hope.
Yes. Yeah.
And sometimes it's important to give a date of release.
Wow.
Yeah, in some cases, because sometimes people die in the house.
In the house.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, they die. They die in the operating room. They die in the delivery room. They die.
Why would they die?
Because the midwives are not aware of the fact that it's time now. You can have breech birth, and you can have sometimes it stays in the womb too long, and you need an epidural, and sometimes you need something to stimulate the passage to be open to release that ministry. So you can have a baby that has reached full term, and at the same time the mother, it's time to give birth, but it's overdue.
Right,
You're going to kill the ministry if you leave that baby inside of that ministry and you do not find a way. You may have to do it through C-section.
Yes.
But the truth is, you're going to tell a mother, come in, because we're next Wednesday. You're 3 weeks past due. So we're going to have to do C-section.
Right.
So we set a date. There are times when true fathers and mothers, true leaders will recognize that, you know what, this person here has outgrown where they are. And it's not that you're leaving the church, but you want to begin to see ministry and raise up ministry within them and provide a platform.
That's good. That's good.
Provide a platform. I have a friend, he's a chaplain, and so, you know, when you see about your chaplaincy license, and the next time, amen, you'll find that anytime that the first responders are called, you will certainly, with the proper training, you won't be serving just in the church, but you are a ministry call.
Yes.
So you're in the nursing homes, you are in the halfway homes, you are in the correctional centers, and so on, and you're in our penal system. And not only that, but we know that you have a viable ministry that can work either in-house or outside.
Right,
so you have to create sometime a platform for there to be a release.
For there to be a release.
Yes. You have to create a ministry
Wow.
for them to serve in at times.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. And that is to stimulate and to provoke contraction so that they give birth to purpose.
Yes. My God.
Thank you, Lord.
How does one father recognize a good father and or a good spiritual father? I think we touched that earlier, but if you would just revisit that a little bit.
Yeah, we must be, what do you see? What do you see in that son? It must be a recognition to understand that, do you see purpose? Do you see call? Do you see destiny? What do you see in them? And so it's calling the things which be not as though they were. And sometimes getting a revelation of where they're heading. And create an environment that they are able to come into it and protect them in that environment, that it's not aborted, it's not thwarted, that they themselves do not violate that call that prevents them from coming into the fullness of it.
God.
And if you know that you're called to be a teacher, and pay your tuition to go to Bible school. If you understand what I'm saying, it's about assisting for them to realize, and at the same time, sometimes to critique.
Good.
Sometimes taking time to critique their environment and their connections. And evil association corrupts good manners. It's being able to say, listen, you're running with prairie chickens, but you're called to be an eagle.
Yes.
Therefore, you want to be able to choose your relationships wisely and who you connect with wisely. So it's not only just looking at their lives, but being able to critique it and assist or help them to follow a path that leads ultimately to their high call.
My God.
So if you're not involved in their life,
then
there is really no connection. There has to be that the DNA is there. that you're involved in them,
Yes.
in their lives, and
Yes.
involved in their growing and their developmental years, and what they do in terms of the release of ministry.
Right.
Ministry
Right.
call.
Right. Wow. Wow, what an awesome time we've had.
Thank God. Thank God.
And I'm thanking you guys so much for viewing.
Yes.
You guys have indeed, Pops, do you have anything? I have why? Listen, this is the reason why I'm never nervous about springing, because I mean you are just a well of information, and it's just
Well,
I'm
I
so
tell you,
honored.
I tell you, there are many sons right now and many daughters that are listening,
Yeah.
and that really need to recognize that God has placed them into the care of a
Yes.
spiritual father or mother, and to recognize that the spiritual father and mother, just like Noah, they're not perfect, but that there is this openness where they are able to work with the imperfection of
Yeah.
that parent, that spiritual covering. And at the same time, that covering recognizes that there are going to be trials and errors, that there are going to be deficiencies. And at the same time, be transparent and be open enough
Yes,
to
yes, yes.
put themselves in the position where that they can be poured into.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I want to say that don't think that the person that God has placed over you is so preoccupied with others or with other things that they have overlooked you. I want you to, like Elisha, to recognize that your call and that your destiny is wrapped up in that relationship. That providence, God has put you into that environment. He has put you into that relationship, and that indeed, when you can recognize that, like Ruth will say unto Naomi, entreat me not to leave thee. There's nothing you can do that's going to turn me away.
Yeah.
From following after you, because anywhere you go, I'm going. Where you lodge, I'm lodging. Your people shall be my people, your God, my God. So when you recognize that your call is wrapped up in the one that God has put to mentor you, then you want to, one, be determined. Then you want to seek direction, and you want to put yourself there in terms of devotion,
Right.
so that you spend time together, seeking God together.
My God.
Not only that, but you
That's
want
good.
to know your destiny,
Yeah.
that where thou diest will I die, and there will I be buried.
Yes,
I'm not
yes,
serving
yes.
with you and alongside you to the end that I will be empowered and then I'm gone.
Right.
But see, my destiny is still wrapped up in you. Because when Ruth comes into her own, now Naomi will be living because Ruth has tapped into a Boaz.
My God.
So there's no disconnect, so to speak, that she's not able to meet the needs of her spiritual covering, her mother, Naomi.
Yeah.
She's able now to pour back into Naomi because Naomi was pouring into her.
My God.
The reciprocal relationship is that I don't just cut the umbilical cord, spiritual umbilical cord, and break away, and then but to understand that my destiny is wrapped up in this relationship.
My God.
And so you can't talk me out of walking away from you. So while Naomi is saying, go my daughters, Orpha left because she didn't discern that her destiny and her ministry was wrapped up in Naomi. But Ruth did.
My God.
And here's the beauty of that. Because now we're dealing with a different gender, but it's still fatherhood. Because understand that while Naomi got so bitter, she says, I'm going to return home because there's bread again in Bethlehem, Judah. He says, but don't call me anymore Naomi, my bliss or my joy. Call me Mara, I am bitter. What would make a protege stick with a mentor, stick with a covering when what is bitter? I knew her when she was a woman rejoicing, when Marlon and Chillian was alive. She represented, the Jewish faith well. She was serving, but this woman has backslid. She has backslid. Now she's bitter and complaining, and she said, become disconnected. I have nothing to offer you. And so the person who you're connected with can't even discourage you,
my God,
to walk away.
That's it. Mighty God.
No, they can't do anything that will make you say, I'm walking away from you. Because you discern that your destiny is wrapped up in that person.
Mighty
so
God.
she go, entreat me not to leave thee. Don't go there. Don't even try it. You can't stop me from returning after you. That's direction. For where you go, I'm going. That's desire. Where you lodge, I lodge. Your people shall be my people. Oh, listen. She's seeing this now. Your God, my God. That's the devotion. Where you die, there will I die and be buried. Destiny.
Yeah.
So my destiny is wrapped up in you. There's not a matter of you. You can't turn me off. You can't do anything to make me walk away from you, because I see that even when I come into my own and I have found my kinsman redeemer, and I have found the strength of my life, my Boaz, and I've realized who I am now as a great-great-grandmother of Messiah. That's an awesome higher call that Naomi had. But she doesn't cut her off. Every time she gleans, she makes sure that her mentor. It's called a builder. That's what we look at. This concept of sonship is a builder. So you're building, even if you're not there geographically in the same place.
That's it.
You're still building, that ministry. You're pointing souls. You're pointing back to that ministry. You're funneling them into the growth and development of that local church.
My God.
It's a builder. A son is a builder.
My God.
And you're building the name. You're building the DNA.
That's it.
You're building
That's
the family name.
That's
You bear the DNA.
That's it.
Somewhere along the line that you can identify with. You're coming out of family of Christ. Somewhere along the line, we follow your DNA.
My God.
Because you're building the family, the name, the lineage, the posterity. You're building the future based upon that. And you can trace it genealogically. You can trace it as indeed coming from here, because you don't cut ties. Even if you become greater than where you're coming from, you don't cut ties.